Is FTT going to crash like Luna? Is it safe to keep your funds on FTX, or is it better to withdraw them to another exchange? What is CZ from Binance saying about all of this? What is Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX saying about this? We're going to look at a few things, but let's get into some technical analysis first of all. So, looking at FTT USDT on the FTX exchange, you can see we've got a support zone here on the weekly time frame, and literally we are hanging in the balance. Got a trend line coming down and almost a descending triangle forming. So as you can see here, we've had tests, multiple tests of this trend line here. It's kind of a box that I've drawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times on the weekly time frame. Now they say that the more you test a level, the weaker it gets. So let's look at some of the levels that are going on here. I'm going to switch off this rectangle and let's switch on some of the levels. So as you can see here, we've lost the monthly support, we've lost a weekly support, and we actually on the daily time frame, if we have a look at that, we've actually retested that weekly level. Is this going to hold? That's a very good question. Or is it going to dump like Luna? Below that, we've got the daily level at 21.18 and 20.17. I must say, it's not looking good for this coin. You know, saying that, I was looking at this chart, and to me, it looks very, very similar to something else I've seen. This chart on a weekly time frame looks almost exactly the same as what the Bitcoin chart is looking like. So Bitcoin is at the same kind of place. But to be honest with you, Bitcoin is showing a lot more strength than what I'm seeing even in the stock market. You can see here we've bounced off that level at 18,700 and we are finding some strength. Whereas if you look at FTT, really no strength going on here. Looking at the smaller time frames, if we go to an hourly, there is a smaller trend line that we've been rejecting off. That could mean that testing that trend line, we could get a push up. But let's look at some of the issues going on here. And one of the issues that I'm seeing is on the order flow. If I go to FTT on BYBIT, I can actually see some bearish CVD divergence. Now, that means when the indicator is making a higher high, but price is making a lower high. That means that market participants or the market entries or market orders are longing and they're wanting to long getting a breakout, but the larger participants in the market are actually keeping the price in check. What's a little bit concerning for me is that if I look at some of the other exchanges in terms of FTT, I mean, let's look at FTX USD. What the chart is showing me is something totally different. It's not showing that bearish divergence. And I found this over and over with exchanges like FTX, exchanges like BYBIT. So let's just find that FTT on Binance, rather, not BYBIT. So if I go to the FTT chart on Binance, look what it's showing me. It's not showing me that bearish divergence. In fact, it's almost showing us a bullish divergence. So to be fair, the futures chart on Binance, when I looked earlier, was actually showing the bearish divergence. Yes, there you can see it. So the indicator CVD making a higher high, whereas price was making a lower high. So going back to BYBIT, to me, this is the most accurate exchange and the most trustworthy exchange. Every single time I've looked for CVD divergence, it's been absolutely accurate. Compared to all of the other exchanges, I really, really trust BYBIT impeccably. So the question is it safe to keep your funds on FTX? I don't know. I can't give you that advice. If it was my funds, I would take my funds off. Can everybody taking their funds off the exchange cause a cascade and cause problems for FTX? Of course. But at the end of the day, you've got to look after yourself. So if you're looking for a good exchange, I'm with BYBIT. Check the links in the description. You won't be disappointed. $4,000 bonus depending on what you deposit. But let's continue. Let's see what CZ has been saying. CZ, if you don't know, is the CEO of Binance, and what he's tweeted almost 24 hours ago is he was saying, as part of Binance's exit from FTX equity last year, Binance received roughly 2.1 billion US dollar equivalent in cash. Due to recent revelations that have come to light, we have decided to liquidate any remaining FTT on our books. And you can go through the thread, look at Twitter. This is the concerning part. Yes, this is part of it. So in other words, 584, almost 585 million US dollars transferred in FTT to Binance. So CZ is saying, yes, that is part of the FTT. Now, this could cause a huge crash on FTX, but we've got to, and he also says, liquidating our FTT is just post-exit risk management, learning from Luna. That's a concerning statement. We gave support before, but we won't pretend to make love after divorce. We are not against anyone, but we won't support people who lobby against other industry players behind their backs. Onwards. You know, if he is saying that they learned from Luna, what is it that he knows in the background? And there we can see we're actually starting to get a little push up. So is it possible to make money from these moves? If there's a big crash, I'm definitely going to be watching this because there's shorting opportunities, there's longing opportunities. I know a friend of mine, trader, that with the Luna crash took about $100, $100 or $200, and he turned it into $100,000 within a couple of days. So there is money to be made if you know what you're doing. Be careful. You've got to know what you're doing. Let's look at what FTX is saying on their Twitter account. And at the moment, regarding that, absolutely zero. They've got information about support updates, needing David Attenborough to narrate crypto Twitter today, because obviously they know what's been going on. The chats between CZ and possibly Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam Bankman-Fried has responded. FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried denies insolvency rumors as Binance liquidates FTT token. So he says FTX is fine, assets are fine. Crypto exchange FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried wrote on Twitter early Monday morning as speculation built over the weekend about the solvency of his crypto exchange. FTX has enough to cover all client holdings, he added. We don't invest clients' assets, even in treasuries. We have been processing all withdrawals and will continue to be. If you go to the FTX Twitter thread, you can see people have been commenting on these posts. So some of them have been saying they've been receiving the money. Some of them have been saying that it's been delayed. This guy says, I've already got all my assets. You're amazing. Be patient, people. They are solving. It took the whole day to receive my assets, but I got them. The whole day? Yeah, that is concerning for me. Again, if it was my funds, I would definitely take it off. Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, just telling you what I would do with my crypto. Noting the revelations in that CoinDesk report, CZ said his exchange would begin liquidating any remaining FTT held on his books. Ellison fired back over Twitter, saying Alameda stood ready to purchase for 22 each, roughly the price at the time, any amount of FTT Binance wanted to unload. So that's the other question. If CZ unloads, and when he does unload all of his FTT, who's going to buy that? So possibly this could be a buying opportunity, because if he's selling all that stuff, we might get a move down and you might be buying it at a discount, but then you could also be buying right at the top and it could be dumping all the way down. So I'd be very, very careful on that. Let's look at what a couple of the other industry players are saying. Ran from Crypto Banter. See what he says here. I have nothing against FTX, but there is no upside to keeping funds on any exchange, more so on an exchange that has FUD. I'm almost sure FTX will be okay, but in the tiny chance that they are not, I wouldn't want to think that I had an opportunity to withdraw and didn't take it. And he's actually replied to one of his other tweets, get your funds out of FTX. This is financial advice. Not my words, his words. Daniel Jordan from Chart Champions. I regard this guy as one of the top traders in the world. I follow his strategies and I use his strategies to trade. So he says Binance and FTX playing silly games with each other, trying to dump each of their Ponzi tokens. Take much care of these exchanges. Really just goes to show why I prefer BYBIT. If you want to trade there with me too, you can sign up via the link. So don't use his link. This is my video. Use my link down in the description. So be careful with your funds. There could be money to be made here, but you need to know what you're doing. So check out some of my other videos. Like the video if you like this video. Subscribe and give me a comment. Let me know what you think about all of this fiasco going on. I'll see you in the next video.